Kingdom of Saudi Arabia expresses its strong condemnation and denunciation of the blatant Israel aggression against the brotherly Islamic Republic of Iran, which undermine its sovereignty and security, constitute a clear violation of international law and norms. Interesting. Kingdom of Saudi Arabia expresses strong condemnation. Yeah. While the kingdom condemns these heinous attacks, it affirms that the international community and Security Council bear a great responsibility to remediate all this aggression. Ooh la la. So already, we got Supreme Leader has already replaced its Chief of Staff, this guy, and the Supreme Leader has replaced Haiti. Oh no, Haiti's been appointed. Okay, interesting. Uh, bloodthirsty and vicious Zionist regime has begun its aerial aggression against the territory of the Islamic Republic of Iran and has attacked several locations in our country. We have not wanted to open a path of war until now, but the Islamic Republic's army, along with its Revolutionary Guards, will not tolerate the aggression of the filthy child murderers and shedding the innocent blood of our compatriots, and we will teach Netanyahu a bitter lesson. Our dear people must maintain their composure and calm, deny any rumors that may be spread by the agents of the regime. Do not approach military barracks and await the moment of fulfilling the general responsibility that will be assigned by the Supreme Leader. Currently, the combat forces of the Army and IRGC are busy fighting in the sky. So, Bagheri was an extremely important person in Iran, and he was uh, reduced down to a little bit of ashes, I suppose. Um, okay, this thing. What do we got here? Big. The Brits. Okay, so here's a list of assassinations in the last couple hours. The IRG Chief of Staff and the IRG General, uh, 3 nuclear scientists, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 locations, and 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 12 locations that include the nuclear site in Natanz and Perchin, military bases in Qom and Tehran. Very, very interesting. Uh, Iranian General Staff spokesman says Israel and the U.S. are equally responsible for tonight's attack. Uh, got Iranian announces the martyrdom of Salami, Rashid, and other doctors. Mohammed. Interesting shit. interesting. For such strikes, we didn't really get a lot of videos. Which was surprising. Bunker busters. Man. Look at that. Get a little bit bigger view here.
کجا بود؟
All right, you got another one. Khamenei's senior advisor and right-hand man was also eliminated. All right. This is here.
Anchor Brett Baer. He joins us by phone. He just happened to speak with the President of the United States, Donald Trump. Brett, what did he tell you?
Hey, Trace. Yeah, I just spoke to President Trump. One thing, the president was aware of Israel's action before it happened. There were no surprises here. But he gave me a quote. He said, Iran cannot have a nuclear bomb. We're hoping to get back to the negotiating table. We'll see. There are several people in leadership in Iran that will not be coming back. Now, the president, I know, has spoken to Prime Minister Netanyahu several times in recent days. As I mentioned before, the Trump administration reached out to a key Middle Eastern ally beforehand to acknowledge this strike was going to happen, but that the U.S. was not involved in the strike, but the goal still to get Iran back to the negotiating table. There was this building frustration about what Iran was doing at that negotiating table with Steve Witkoff, the Middle East envoy. He was scheduled again for Sunday. Looks like, obviously, that may change the dynamic there. Whether that moves forward at all depends on what Iran does in response. The president told me he's, looking to see what the retaliation may be. CENTCOM is on high alert. The U.S. will defend will help defend Israel if needed. And as I mentioned in the last time we talked, the Iron Dome has been replenished in Israel in recent weeks. So there's still this hope in the president's sense and the people around him that this changes the dynamic for Iran and that this does not launch into what will be a back and forth. But we just saw the post from the Supreme Leader saying that this is the beginning of a major, major retaliation and that Israel, in his words, has sealed its fate. U.S. officials are confirming to us that a number of top Iranian officials, leaders, are dead after these strikes. But as far as the full sense of what the targeting looked like, Natanz, the nuclear facility, was struck, but we don't believe it was by the biggest of the penetrating bombs, but we will have to see come first light. And the U.S. military, and we've been saying this, was not directly involved in these strikes, but there clearly was an advanced knowledge and communication and knowledge of what was happening, and now we'll see exactly what the retaliation looks like.
Huh. Israel notified Washington before the strikes during the White House picnic. Khamenei is alive. Fencing and increased police presence at the Israeli embassy in D.C. Interesting. That red fence is gonna be nice and strong. I imagine it's gonna be a pretty interesting Friday. And what's interesting? It's Friday the 13th, so Israel would strike Iran on Friday the 13th during the White House picnic on a Thursday. With all the congressional. Oh, am I getting did I get messed up? Am I still here? On a Thursday. With all the congressional. Oh, am I getting messed up? That's interesting. Am I still here? Why is it doing that? Huh. Yeah. There you go. Now it's popping up. That's interesting. It was showing that I disconnected. Of course it would. I'm on your side, Israel. Don't be kicking me off. Yeah, see how it cleared that chat? It's interesting. All right, I'm still here. What were we looking at? I'm trying to keep the video small, not trying to make Israel or DARPA mad. Go, Team Israel, go. What else we got? All right, we got Jordan. Jordan has closed its airspace. We will not allow airspace to be violated, and we will not be a battleground for any conflict. All right. What else we got? All right. What else we got? Oh. Major General Musavi has survived. Interesting. Okay. All right. So, I think we can get these videos. Think it's going to show up? Yeah, it will. So we've seen that one. Seen this one. Telegram's going to start messing around here. This was another area. So it seems like they struck with missiles people's specific apartments. We got another. Interesting. Oh, this is a newer one. This is during the daylight. And I would never want an Israeli to know my damn name. Tell you what. Look at that. Got one of Iran's most important nuclear facilities gone. That's a huge plume of smoke there. Damn. I like how none of the videos are loading also, of course. All right. Any strikes yet? I've been keeping my eye on some videos in Israel, and I ain't seen nothing. I got Jerusalem, Haifa, and Tel Aviv up, and it's perfectly fine there. Big homie was killed. That was crazy. That's crazy, man. Rashid. So this guy had a permanent independent command center since 2016. Interesting. We got some more. Who we got here? Okay, we got these are two nuclear scientists that were pew-pewed. Abbasi and Teranchi. One of them ran the Islamic Azad University in Tehran. Pretty crazy. I've already went over this guy. He's been pew-pewed. This is clearly a missile depot with all the rockets on fire inside of the storage location. A radar station. Okay. So they're saying that Israel was able to get the reason they were able to do this because they essentially got into the IRGC and knew where everybody was. Like they had a couple spies in there. The wing of Zion is left and is in the air. You know, watching some videos the other day of Iran showing off their underground bases and everything. All you need is a handful of bunker busters, and you'll never be able to get that shit. Crazy. IDF says over 100 drones were launched by Iran at Israel in the last few hours. I don't really see it. Let me look again. I don't see it. And these are up to 8:01 a.m. So yeah, 12:01 a.m. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I figured. Bunker busters. All you need is a couple of those things that just slice through dirt like butter. And talking about Israeli jets, but I haven't really been seeing any of them. I heard a few when they first started to do their bombing, but they were dark videos, so you couldn't see shit. What else we got? So after the bomb happened, we had a judge in California stop Trump. And then within moments, like maybe an hour or two afterwards, the U.S. Appeals Court in the 8th District, I think, they, within like an hour or two, immediately overturned the lower court. So Trump gets to keep the National Guard. We are DEFCON 4 boys. Still nothing in Israel. All right, what else we got? All right. Yeah, so they halted it at basically 8 p.m. my time, and then within, so 2 hours and 30 minutes of the California courts. That's nice. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. What else we got? Nothing there. In addition to Israeli Air Force attacks, the Mossad has conducted covert assassinations in the heart of Iran. We got some new videos. Oh, we got some daytime videos showing up. Damn, dog. I imagine a couple people lived in there. Oof. Let's look at this one here. Load. All right. So now they're claiming they got 5 nuclear physicists. So that's up from 2 or 3 earlier. Supreme Leader said he's given freedom of action to the country's armed forces. I don't really believe this kid thing. All right, we got a port bombing. All right, I haven't seen this one yet. So Iran is getting so much. So when you that's a lot of gas, oil, kerosene, whatever. That's big. That's big there. Interesting. We got a Shaheed missile. Where's it at? Oh, there it is. Very tiny. Nothing. So those are proof that drones are heading towards Israel. Here we go. We're starting to get them. Israel has issued a get in your bunkers and be prepared to stay in your bunkers. So Iranian drones are Iraq. That's a Shaheed. Looks like a little triangle. All right. Says we got 100. All I see is 2 so far. All right, what else we got? All right, General Flynn says, oh, he's not saying anything. He's just pointing. Okay, never mind. SIG, I think they're still asleep. So SIG, Lebanese news. Surprised they're not posting yet unless they don't have internet. UK leaks. We already looked at that. Anything else? Here we got here. Oh, that's just Ukraine. And this is crazy shit. So while all that was going on, I was having a conversation with Grok. And let's do this. No, let's do that. So I was asking it about companies that have been working outside of sanctions, and I didn't really get a whole lot from the public. I had gone quite a, so we're here, and here's my mouse, it goes that high. But once I started getting a little bit deeper and asking it more questions, compile information from executives for all these companies, including the trust fund companies associated with all these companies, and list me anyone who does have connection with each other. And I had to do a deeper search. So we got Nico and NIOC, NICO and NIOC, which is ran by Karbashan and Akbar. Trying to limit the amount of names I say for the algorithm. You can just read it on the screen yourself if you so choose. They have a lot of associations with Petronics, Petroquimico, Alconost Maritime, Lamonte Marine Services, Artemis Hart, Green Garden Trading, Sunnyland Trading. And it couldn't really find me in trust funds because they're private, so it's a little bit harder to get that information. Then he gave me a little more information on no executive information, public trust fund, connecting. Okay, yes. So I was able to get it to find NIOC sells to Pentro Quemenco. Nico sells to Petronics Energy. Petronics Energy is managed by Alconos Maritime. Let's just call it Petro FZE. Is owned by Lamont Marine Services, and they run a ship called Casanova. Petro is also linked to Artemis, Green Garden, and Sunnyland Trading. Rostam Kasami, who used to be a minister of petroleum, is also connected from 2011 to 2022 when he passed away. Okay, and then we got some executive companies connected to and type of connections. So we got the CEO, Masood, connected to Ali Akbar, and they are connected through overseas Nico executives. Ali Akbar is connected to Karbasan and Hassan Gosti through Nico and NIOC. Gosti is connected to Karbasan, Ali through NIOC and Nico. Interesting. And then I asked it a little bit more information here. Let's do key points. So here I asked it about John Kerry, Brussels, London, Rome, Paris, Aachen, and Antwerp. And so the executives that we spoke about from the National Iranian Oil Company, they have been documented in Brussels for official agreements back in 2002. London hosts Iranian company, Niel QK Limited, and is a hub for Iranian oil tycoons like Hassin. In Paris, Iranian leaders like President Rouhani met with French business executives in 2016, likely talking about oil sector discussions. Rome, There are specific visits, but less documentation. And it suggests that Italy has historical ties with Iran. Given Antwerp's role as a major port, it's plausible that executives or employees, especially from shipping-related companies like Alcanos Maritime or Le Monte Marine Services, have visited or trade logistics, though specific evidence is limited. Jones Carey, okay? All right. Anything new? Still nothing going on in Israel. Market's still tanking. All right. So, detailed analysis of company executive presence in European cities. Petronex Energy, Petro FZE from UAE, and Petronex from Hong Kong, Naftirian Intertrade Company. All these companies I've mentioned, all their executives have been to Brussels, London, Rome, or Paris, or nearby regions. So from 2018 to 2021, CEO of NIOC was in Brussels, as well as 2002, the Deputy Minister of Economy and Finance signed customs cooperations agreement with Belgium. It's from the Tehran Times. Seems likely that Iranian oil executives have been active in London, as evidenced by a registered company, the Iranian Oil Company UK Limited, based on the street that it provides. Hussein, also, who's an oil tycoon from this, sorry for some of this information, is operating a hedge fund. I'm not going to say that hedge fund's name. You can see it here. From London's Knightsbridge, managing millions of oil-related finances. He has ties to the Anglo-Persian Oil Company, which is later called British Petroleum. What else we got? We got evidence of Iranian oil executives visiting Paris for business, particularly during high-level diplomatic visits. We got Rouhani met with French business leaders, including from Total SA in Paris, discussing reviving economic times. You remember what happened in 2016. Early in 2013, that's when Obama gave $300 billion to Iran. So Total SA wanted in there. Early in 2013, Foreign Minister Zarif visited Paris for nuclear talks, which could have included oil-related discussions. While specific mentions are limited, Italy's state-owned company Eni has historical and recent dealings with Iran, including during sanctions period. This suggests that Iranian oil executives, particularly from the NIOC and NICO, likely visit Rome for business or diplomatic purposes. For example, the Eni attended the Tehran Conference of Iranian Oil Contracts, including potential reciprocal visits. Given Rome's status as a major European capital, it's plausible that executives attended the meetings or conferences there. We got Antwerp, which is a major port city, especially for the Jews and their diamonds. Companies like Alcanos Maritime and Le Monte Maritime Services Limited, involved in Iranian shipping oil company, likely have representatives visiting Antwerp for logistical purposes. While specific evidence is scarce, the port's role in global oil trade makes this profitable. Aachen, or Charlemagne, or whatever his fucking name is, was buried. It's less directly relevant. Near Brussels, Cologne, nothing there. Beyond high-level executives, employees or representatives from these companies, especially those trading in logistics, are likely to have traveled to these cities for conferences, trade shows, or client meetings. For instance, Petronix Energy and Petro's FZE, involved in global oil trading, would likely send representatives to European hubs like London or Antwerp for business, though specific evidence is limited due to their sanction status and private nature. Here we got Brussels is connected to NIOC through a customs agreement in 2002. London connected to Iranian Oil Company Limited through regular United Kingdom company and hedge fund operations. Paris is connected to NIOC through Rouhani, meeting with French business leaders in 2006, discussing the oil sector. Rome includes NIOC and NICO, probably due to Italy's ENI dealings through specific visits, though not documented. Antwerp, likely through Alcanost and Le Monte Marine, plausible for shipping logistics given port's role in oil trade. Aachen, possible for all, less discreet or less direct, could be a broader European. Okay, nothing there. What else we got? Research suggests that executives from NIOC and related companies have been to Brussels, London, and Paris, with likely visits in Rome. Given Italy's oil ties, it seems likely that trading companies like Petronix and Petro ZNE, ZFE have representatives in these cities. Given their global operations, evidence leads to Iranian oil executives attending international conferences in these locations, but specific details for all companies are limited. There is no public evidence supporting claims. Okay. Yeah, so I thought that was interesting. All right, let's go back, see if we got any new footage here. Or we got some more. Let's pause this. Let's go back because I want to squeeze the video so it's not. Let's do that. Yeah, there we go. All right, we already saw that one. Here's another. Here's the Kasser shrine. A shrine in Ireland.
حاجی متاسفانه کامل تخریب دید.
Iran, my God. Oh, we got a third name out of 5 that they've claimed. Not even going to try and say this Iranian name. My God. Here we got a pro-monarch Monto news shows Iranian Supreme Leader's advisor's house. It's a pretty nice house. Okay, nothing yet. Interesting. Let's look at Israel. All right. Nothing magic there. Let's ask Grok if there's it's a good thing here. Is there any other can we add banking interests to this analysis, including European central bankers in these locations and during these dates we have mentioned that could quite possibly put these people in the same room or offices around these regions. What else can we add? Is the Central Bank of England or Switzerland representatives to be in these locations as well. Deep search. Anything else? Anything else we can add to that? How about any other French conglomerate? So Glominats. Any other French conglomerates similar to Total SA's business structure? So talking about things that would get you channels. No, I think I'm doing well. Deep search. I already said I like Israel, so that should help, right? All right, what else we got? American, Israel, and British jet fighters are active above Syria and Iraq. Israeli Air Force planes are over Syria. All right, let's go back to this. Corporate banking inclusions analysis. Going to review here. Banking interests. Likewise. Based in London. Oh, why is it showing that? Is my wife yelling at me if I need smokes on our way home? Rome, Paris. I need to. to share this tab here. Switch me. So we got central banker names, scenarios. So we got French conglomerate similar to Total A. Total SA is vertically integrated energy multinational focusing on oil, gas, and renewables with global operations in exploration, production, refining, and trading. Ingi SA. Ingi does have interest in Iran's energy section Iran's energy sector pre-2008, including gas projects. Engel's executives, like former CEO, have attended Paris and Brussels energy conferences, potentially overlapping with NIOP representatives during pre-sanctioned period. Technip Energies, energy technology company. Technip was invested in Iran pre-21, worked with Iran projects like South Pars, with Total SA and NEOC pre-2018. Technip Energies, Paris headquarters and project offices, London, Rome, suggests executive presence at energy summits, potentially with ECB and Bank of England officials. Vinci, a construction and infrastructure conglomerate, energy division, resembling Total SA projects. And Vinci, it was okay. So Engie is connected to gas power, renewables, global value chains, and they had ties pre-2018 in cities like Paris and Brussels. Technip, engineering for energy projects, historical ties to NEOC and Total SA through Paris, London, and Rome. NCSA infrastructure with energy divisions, possible logistical overlaps through Paris and Antwerp. We got more connections of presence and overlaps. Conclusion, NEOC and NICO executives like Sood have been in Brussels, London, Paris. It's likely Rome visits to the ENI ties. Banking interests, ECB officials are active in everywhere we talked about. And they likely overlap with energy finance conferences. French conglomerates have a global energy focus and have historical NEOC ties, but no recent connection to listed companies due to sanctions. Interesting. So the Brits are officially in the Med. Switch to this. Look at that. Pretty sexy. Israeli police have ordered the Aqsa Mosque closed. This is pretty boring. I thought we would get a little bit something else, but it seems like we're not. It's only 12:33, so. Nothing else here. Oh yeah, we had a badass explosion here earlier. Look at this bad boy. Damn. The hell did they blow up? A plume of smoke is like a volcano eruption. Dems are having an insane 24 hours. Stacey Plaskett talked about her lady parts in detail on X. Alex Padilla was handcuffed after heckling Kristi Noem. John Mannion screamed obscenities at a colleague on the House floor, and Hakeem Jeffries held up an Elmo toy during a floor speech. Here's that state senator getting arrested.
On the ground. Hands behind your back. Ground. On the ground. Hands behind your back. Hands behind your back.
If you don't my hands, go ahead, stand behind my back.
All right. Cool. Other hand. Lay flat. Lay flat.
Other hand, sir. Other hand.
There's no recording loud out here.
And what I found hilarious about it is the Lincoln Project said arresting officials from the opposing party is authoritarianism 101. It's from the Lincoln Project. And then I said, do people who work at the Lincoln Project really not know what Lincoln did? Like Lincoln personally arrested damn near 10,000 to 40,000 people when he was president, and he got rid of habeas corpus to make it so he could fucking arrest everyone. And then he created the IRS, which then in turn he created the United States of America. Like it's what? People have no idea what they're talking about. What else we got? Yeah, we already went over that. Crazy stuff. All right, what else we got? We got Saudi and Qatari fighter jets are also in the air. All right. This turned out far boring than I expected. Thought we would get a little bit more live action than we did. Pretty sad. It's pretty damn gay. Not really. What kind of war is this if we're not getting any video? Wars.
The courts have ruled on the Guard. They will be back under my command.
A few moments later.
Okay, why is Trump back in control of the National Guard, you guys? What the hell is going on? First I lose my pool boy Roberto, and now this? I seriously need a mani-pedi right now. A bottle of wine, cherry ice cream, and a whole season of Will and Grace.
Still no bombs or drones in Jerusalem, Tel Aviv, or Haifa. I'll be right back. We got early reports saying that over 800 Iranian projectiles, including cruise missiles, ballistic missiles, and suicide drones, have been launched towards Israel. Israel has canceled their flamboyant pride parade. Up to six nuclear scientists now.
appears to show Israeli strikes on the Natanz nuclear facility. So I just posted it. It's from Manny Fabian. I just posted it in the chat. You can watch it as well.
Senior Israeli security official told Iran International that Tehran must sign a nuclear deal or face further action that could end its rule, adding that Iran could not avoid Israeli attacks if it was honest in U.S. talks. Iran can either sign an agreement or face ongoing attacks that will endanger the stability of its regime. Iran deceived the United States during the negotiations and tried to buy time while continuing the enrichment. Saudi jets are patrolling Yemen.
On what is going on.
All right, I mean, shit is so boring. I might just end the damn stream.
I'm seeing some claims online that Iran will not attend talks with the U.S. on Sunday. I haven't seen that confirmed, though. I'm just checking a bunch of different sources to try to find the latest updates. The Institute for the Study of War had a report that they came out with, which I haven't even seen yet. Israeli strikes on Iran. So if you want to check it out, I'll post a link. It's from the Institute for the Study of War. They do a lot of really good military analysis. ISW. Understandingwar.org. Understandingwar.org. And I'll post a link to the article.
U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio called Iran not to attack U.S. personnel in the region in the wake of Israeli attack, and the U.S. did not help Israel strike Iran. Israel has told the United States that it considers strikes on Iran necessary for its defense. Elon's tweeting about the space station. There are potentially serious concerns about the long-term safety of the space station. Some parts are simply getting too old, and obviously the risk grows over time. Israeli officials, the assumption is that additional senior officials in Iran have been eliminated, whose pews have not yet been publicly disclosed. So apparently we have some more high-ranking people than they are letting on that have been dealt with. Oil prices rise 8.58% to 8.19%, as high as 13% during the strikes, or during the day rather. This is apparently the apartment complex where the head of the IRGC was. A pretty damaging missile there. We'll give it a little bit more before I fucking go to bed. Boring ass war. Bibi Netanyahu says the first strike was successful, but the war will be longer than we are used to. He called on the Israelis to stock up on patience, faith, and confidence in victory. Okay. What do we got here? Playing with my nipples. Ugh. One more smoke. Look. Space Force, baby. Outlets are saying the drones may not arrive for another hour to 2 hours. Man, I can't stand with that. We got the Bitcoin. We got the Bitcoin with a nice bounce. We got the Ethereum with a target hit. Nice bounce. We got the Bitcoin Cash. Nice bounce. What else we got? What else can we look at? We can look at Planetar. Planetar. Beautiful target. Core Weave. See what happens with that. Nestor. Hitting its targets. What else we got? We got Walmart. Walmart. Ooh. All right. Bitcoin. We need these trade deals done. Netanyahu ain't helping at all. IRG Deputy Commander-in-Chief. All affairs are underway and all IRG capabilities are ready to take severe action against the enemy. Okay. Hear what this guy's saying. Significant explosions at the Karmanshah location, which houses a missile base, and these are likely explosions in the immediate surroundings of the missile bases, most likely targeting entrances and exits for missiles and heavy movement. Okay.
Military believes there are additional senior Iranian officials killed in this morning's strikes in Iran. How about that?
How about that? How about that?
You know, it's interesting. The Economist has an article out now. What is that noise? I have to stop that noise. Whatever that buzzing is. It's not on that one. Oh, it's from Jerusalem. I'm going to turn the Jerusalem sound down. It's just too annoying. Okay, so The Economist has a new article out about this attack by Israel. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I want to just maybe share some of their analysis with you.
David Rothschild controls The Economist, by the way. So let's hear what David Rothschild has to say.
Come
on, spit it out.
Yeah, the Economist says that the Israeli response will be limited because the U.S. says they're not helping Israel. Now, I don't know if that's true that they're completely not involved with this. I have no idea. But one thing the Economist points out is that without the U.S., they won't have refueling capabilities like they would have. So they say what follows now is probably a sustained campaign by Israel. Israel's Air Force has around 300 manned fighter jets and long-range attack drones. They said that 200 fighters, I think, participated in the attack today. But only a limited number can attack simultaneously due to its small number of refueling tankers needed to enable heavily laden aircraft to reach targets over 1,000 miles from Israeli bases in Iran. Each wave consists of a few dozen aircraft. That's very interesting.
Okay. I can hear that. So far, we got Israeli strikes damaged some of Iran's nuclear capabilities, but failed to damage the Fordow nuclear enrichment facility, which is located 90 meters underground. Anyone who thinks the attack was not coordinated with the U.S. is a complete and utter idiot. Panic buying is taking place in supermarkets this morning across Israel, as the PM's office and IDF home front said the Israeli population will be inside air raid bunkers for much longer.
שוב, זה התור, תור, רגע. 7 מיליון איש.
Okay. They're getting their milk. They got their milk.
Defensive batteries. Iran would, as we've been saying, The Economist says, Iran would have once relied on Hezbollah, the Lebanese militant group, to have been the spearhead of its retaliation. For years, that was the big threat. If you attacked Iran, if Israel attacked Iran, Hezbollah had all these missiles right across the border in southern Lebanon. But last year, Israel severely diminished Hezbollah's capabilities.
Indeed. So we got Israeli news is already posting shots of taking out not even something. Whatever. Stop crying so much.
American embassies or military bases, which are closer to Iran and easier to strike with greater accuracy. They could also attack shipping in the Straits of Hormuz, through which 21% of global oil supplies move. They could also strike other Persian Gulf states to disrupt the economy of the world. But The Economist says any of those would draw America in, causing even more severe damage to be inflicted on the deeply buried Iranian nuclear sites. They say the coming days will be that this strike has been many years in the making, and the coming days will be a test of which country prepared for it better and whether America will be sucked in.
Yeah. Look at oil.
Something else they point out, I've heard this before. They say it could be the case that this strike on Iran actually strengthens their motivation to gain a bomb. Now, Israel says they were getting very close and they wanted to do.
Oil futures are sitting at 481. Pretty high. Look at oil prices on USD. Look at Swiss. So since this attack started, oil prices went from, what is this? At 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock to 1 a.m. oil prices went from $68 to $77, so a whole $10. The gas just went up $10 a barrel. Currently, it's sitting at 72. It's $5. So pull back $5. Okay.
Hamas, when he was staying in Tehran, they knew where he was staying and they were able to kill him with an explosion there. And then today, they knew where all of these top military leaders and nuclear scientists were and were able to kill them with strikes. So clearly, Israel has very good intelligence.
I just said all that and I was muted. Motherfucker. Pacific Ocean, China, Japan. Japan says wah wah wah. China said ha ha ha. And they looked at us for 40 to 80 minutes. That's what I just said. Iranian drones now seen over Syria. We're getting really close. Getting close to Erzurul. Very close.
Izop, Lemaine Carter, Russell Bach, Ski B-50 Yo-Yo, Kalki.
Emirates jet fighters have lifted to defend the UAE. Ukrainians are still not participating in the conversation.
SJS94 on Twitch.
Elon Musk is clearly awake. He's posting.
Towards Israel. I don't own the rights to it. I'll post a link in the chat of one of them right now. I just posted it. Around 100 drones, Israel said.
We might see some drones
No,
make
the
it
drones
into
have
Israel.
not entered Israeli airspace
Here
as far as we're
soon.
aware.
The Golden Dome is looking good. Nothing there. This is Tel Aviv. Showing on the main screen. Dollar index is hit target. Oh shit. Dollar hit target. While the war started, dollar index fell to 97. It's back up to 98. But it hit a target of 97.87. Let's turn this bar red. Bar red. Bitch. What's it doing there? All right. Now we got 96.96 for the dollar index.
I don't think Trump has actually posted on his True Social.
All right, let's look at I'm not going to show anything. I'm just going to talk about it. Let's look at the central bank balance sheet. Central bank balance sheet's back up to 25 trillion. Let's look at global liquidity. From the top 6, global liquidity is up to 94.83 trillion in the top 6. They've been printing since April 10th. They've printed $2.6 trillion.
There were drones launched. Jerusalem Post said it took hours that time. Or was it October 2024? Now I'm really confused. Anyways. Iranian state TV says they will not participate in nuclear talks on Sunday or any negotiations until further notice. That's according to the Jerusalem Post.
Azerbaijan fighter jets are in the air. So everyone is using jet fuel today. Let's look at the jet fuel price. Jet fuel price. All right, let's look at the IATA price monitor. So let's say Friday. So we should be getting prices today because the weekend's today for jet fuel prices. So let's look at the fuel monitor. So put that in, pull this up. So here's our jet fuel monitor. Yes, got it. You can accept my cookies. All right, so we usually get jet fuel prices on Fridays. Ugh, why is it getting so small when I'm making it bigger? All right, that's weird. All right, so as of last Friday, Middle Eastern jet fuel prices rose 5%. In Asia and Oceania, 22%. Jet fuel rose 1.2% compared to what was before the 6th on Friday. The 30th of the previous month. So Africa Index, which was launched on, has carved out for a minute because, okay. Recent development index value, still at 80. So I imagine jet fuel price may go up another $1 or $2 because of this. Global Platts, yeah. All right, let's close that. Mute myself. All right, what do we got here? All right. We got the Lebanese. He's finally waking up. Oh, this is just stupid shit. All right, Iranian gas lines are starting to. Look at this.
مرکز درمانی ما با حداکثر ظرفیت و با همکاری که با ستاد کل نیروهای مسلح، اداره بهداشت درمان ستاد کل و همه بیمارستان‌های نیروهای مسلح و بقیه بیمارستان‌ها
That's some shit right there. There's nothing else there.
But I think maybe, I mean, I don't know how it works. Like, it's possible different, Israel has uses different ways of shooting down drones and missiles, ballistic missiles.
We should. They're saying drones are already in northern Lebanon as well. Air India flight from Thailand and New Delhi makes emergency landing after a bomb threat. Ooh, that DXY looks nice, bro. Emirates Airlines announces cancellation of all its flights from Iraq, Jordan, Lebanon, and Iran. Okay. All right, breaking news.
12 News Israel says the Air Force has begun intercepting drones over the skies of Saudi Arabia.
Ooh.
That is from N12 News Israel.
Where are those
Breaking
drones?
news.
Getting close. We're getting close.
I assume those are drones headed for the U.S. Yeah, so look, you have Saudi Arabia's here. So if drones are coming from Iran, say this way, towards Israel, they might need to pass over Saudi Arabia in here.
All right, let's show this real quick. This is
Zastar says
financial
Saudi Arabia.
advice. This is just dollar index. All right, so here's our dollar index. Let me do this here. Yeah. So as the bombing hits, we hit the short-term target from a few months ago, April. So we hit that target right here, and then we still got another point. Let's see what happens with that. Go back to this. Let's go back to this. Share this. So, yeah, it's interesting.
Yemen. Well, we've only heard they've been fired from Iran.
So we got some new news. All right. Iran has said it has already began retaliatory measures for the Israeli shelling. The necessary steps to make the illegal what's going up? Where am I at? The necessary steps to make the illegal Israeli regime regret what it did have started from now on. We were not the initiators of the war, but the last chapter of the story will be written by Iran. Okay. Anything here? No.
Mariv Online, which is an Israeli news outlet, says something similar to N12 News. Mariv Online says interception of Iranian drones begins outside Israeli borders. What I need to do is...
I got that one.
How big? We'll talk about that in a second. They're the I believe they're Shahed drones. They're not little quadcopter drones. They're bigger.
Mexico owned California for 27 years prior to 1821. There was no Mexico, and it was owned by Spain. Mexico invented the Americas to settle the land, hoping to generate tax revenue from the useless desert land. But when the Europeans made something awesome out of it, they didn't want to let it go. So if you're keeping score, California has been owned by Spain for 52 years, Mexico for 27 years, and the United States for 177 years. Tehran University exams are canceled until further notice. Eric July is mad at the fighting. He says you always end up with John McCain. No. I think a lot of people just don't understand, like Iran and all of the nonsense that country's gone through since the 70s. U.S. Embassy in Israel has ordered all U.S. government employees and their families to take shelter at the nearest location until further notice. We are getting close, guys. We are getting close. Woo. Take an allergy pill. Ganacha, get on the stream, bro. Took some allergy pills. I'm gonna start coughing. What else we got? Ooh, we got some pretty pictures from Israel. All right, let's look at our pretty pictures. All right, Israel Defense Forces has released a footage of the F-35I, F-16I, F-15I fighters preparing for combat sorties as part of Operation Lion Power. Let's look at the pictures first. Ooh. Oh, look at those. Fuel containers on the side there. That's pretty crazy. It's pretty cool. Yeah. All right, we get the picture. Iran has officially refused to participate in the sixth stage of talks with the U.S. and Oman. They're supposed to have talks on Friday and Sunday. Iranian hardliners called not only for the scrapping of the nuclear deal and attacking Israel, but also the ruling authorities to move out the non-proliferation treaty. Interesting. All right, we're talking about signs here. Netanyahu approved the attack on Monday, and this was the reason why the U.S. started to evacuate non-essential personnel. Before the attacks, U.S. ambassador in Jerusalem prayed for safety. Trump knew Trump could have stopped it, but why would he? The U.S. didn't participate in the attack, but gave Israel everything it needed. Iran should... I'm not going to read that. Leaders should seek safety and engage and expect response to engage back at. Sunnis should be quiet. Israel is intercepting drones above Saudi Arabia, Iraq, and Syria. Still waiting on these drones. Put that here. Share this.
Crazy. Hang on a second here.
Drones are being intercepted outside Israel's borders. Those are not intercepted
Thanks to Mark HNC.
What was that? Those that are not intercepted early are expected to reach Israel within an hour. Okay.
Thanks also to Tommy Sonin for.
Thanks, Tom Sonin.
You got gift subs on Twitch. What a nice gift.
All right, we got air raid sirens in Jordan.
I think there was one that went off right away, but that wasn't for incoming. Let me just read this again. Times of Israel's Manny Fabian says, Israeli Air Force fighter jets have begun to shoot down the drones launched at Israel from Iran earlier this morning. The drones are being intercepted outside of Israel's borders. Those that are not intercepted early are expected to reach Israel within an hour or so. And he posted that 9 minutes ago.
Yeah, I beat you to it.
That no nuclear contamination has occurred at the Natanz nuclear site, which Israel attacked. Iran, which would take 10 to 12 missiles, 10 to 12 minutes to get there, I believe. You know, Hezbollah has been greatly diminished in Lebanon, but they still might have some missiles there that are right across the border from Israel. So it's possible you could have some missiles being fired from there, maybe some fired by the Houthis in Yemen. The drones are not going to show up on flight radar. At least I'm not aware that they, I've never heard that they do.
Do something. Do something. Crown Prince of Iran.
Flight tracking sites primarily respond.
Crown Prince of Iran has called the Iranian regular army to revolt and on the Iranian people to start major strikes and protests against the Islamic Republic. Which is interesting because Trump just had that really powerful Iranian dude who owns Uber. Is connected to Pahlavi. So that's interesting.
Must be. Is it Haifa? I don't know. No, it's not Haifa. Which one is it? Is it Tel Aviv? Is it Jerusalem? I'm trying all of them. None of them is working. Where is that conversation coming from? It's one of the streams. Oh, it was the Haifa one. Remind me to turn Haifa back on in a couple minutes, the audio. Can't listen to the conversation. I can put it on really low, but it's just like... Oh, the air raid parallel universe who I follow said there are air raid sirens in Amman, Jordan. I assume that's from drones. I mean, some of them might need to go over Jordan to get to Israel if they're fired from Iran. Yes, I'm seeing air raid sirens, reports of air raid sirens being activated in Amman, Jordan. Oh, yes. N12 News, Israel, says alarms in Amman.
All right, I've already said all that. All right, we already got complaints. Let it be known that the fall of Syria was not catastrophic on Hezbollah, but only on Iran. Had Syria not fallen, had the Syrian AD not been destroyed, the Israeli army could not have been able to operate this close to the Iranian airspace and attack like it did today. The Israeli war on Iran is because of 2 dates, December 23rd and December 8th. Whoop-de-doo. I love the crying for some of these channels.
Khan News says Iranian drones are estimated to reach the Israel in less than an hour.
Yeah. Should be like 30 minutes out, right? 40 minutes out.
Hold on, I'm gonna post I'm going to post a video which I don't have the rights to in the chat of the sirens in Jordan.
Yeah.
I'll post a video for you now, and you can watch it. Oop. I just posted it for you.
Iranian president has said, Bazinskian, we are ready to give the full forceful response to the child-killing Zionist enemy. Good luck. What else we got?
Oh, hold on.
Come on, these damn drones should be right here by now.
Roy Case says, reporter of Israel in Israel says the Jordanian army claims to be intercepting missiles and drones. Missiles and drones? We haven't heard about missiles. Let me see if I can find the.
I've seen some missiles already falling in Iraq, it said, but I don't know. I didn't talk about that because I don't know if that's old or new. Israel has begun mobilizing tens of thousands of reservists. We do not promise you only success. The response will not be likely anything that we have seen. We are ready to defend ourselves. Okay, that's corny.
Oop, hold on.
All right, drones. Where are you at?
That's not helpful. Reportedly, Jordan is. There are some air raid alerts in Jordan as Iranian drones fly through the airspace, and reportedly, Jordan is saying they're shooting some down.
I don't got any of that yet, so. Whoop. Trump allegedly told Israel not to strike Iran, but they did anyway.
The Quds News Network, which is a Palestinian, I think it's a Palestinian news outlet, they say that the Jordanian armed forces said that they have intercepted a number.
All right, we got Jordanian security forces are asking Jordanians via loudspeakers on the road to stay in their homes for their safety. Because what is it, like the afternoon in Jordan right now?
Reports that the Jordanian army says that their aircraft and defense systems intercepted missiles and drones that entered their airspace. That came in response to military assessments of the inevitability.
Iran has officially and fully pulled out of conversations with the United States. Friday and Sunday are canceled.
It has intercepted some missiles and drones. Is that true? If so, how many? I don't know. Yeah, I'll turn the volume a little up on HiFi. So, well, we'll see. We'll see if any of these drones reach Israel.
Ooh, Bitcoin going up. Ethereum going up. BNB going up. DXY doing all right. Not financial advice. Man, we should. Where are these motherfucking drones? I want to go to bed. I feel like making an omelet or some shit like that.
Why is this not working? Why is this not working?
What we got here?
Okay.
Ooh. We got some. Yeah, nothing there. Sinatra, are you here? Can you make me like a news thing? Like this dude. Jordanians are claiming they've shot down some shit. Man, I'm fucking hungry. Ooh. Oh, all right. Some breaking news. 2 Israelis officials tell Al Arabia that Iran is expected to launch hundreds of ballistic missiles within hours. We got Iranian armed forces issued a statement saying Tehran has no limitations for responding to Israel. We got some Iranians making a comment here. Pepperoni and salami sandwich. Mustard, bro. Not targeting Khamenei was a strategic decision that reveals Israel's ultimate goal of regime change in Iran. Assassinating Khamenei would have upended the narrative of the indigenous uprising against him. Instead, he is left alone, his foot soldiers all gone and vulnerable. Honestly, I think they didn't kill him because they want to avoid antagonizing a Shia uprising. Khamenei is the second most important religious figure in Shia Islam, and murdering him will not only be unprecedented in recent time, but will cause an intra-country calls for attacks against Israel and these Zionists whenever they are in a Shia-controlled area. All right, you got an official statement from Jordan. They are at a high level of readiness. Okay, nothing special there. All right, let's see what he's saying now, if anything.
Now, I can't confirm that's true. I would not be surprised if it is. That'd be interesting if that's the second case of a country doing that in just like a month or so, of going into another country and releasing drones from within the other country to attack the other country.
Yeah.
Hear that banging, whatever the drilling or the... Oh my God, so much noise on these streams. Which stream is that? That's the Jerusalem stream.
I'm about to make a latte.
I have the noise on. I have the sound on from Tel Aviv and from Modin. The other two I have to stop right now.
All right, we got Israeli Broadcasting Authority says Mossad agents on the ground in Iran destroyed Iranian anti-aircraft and defense batteries. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not really seeing many new reports from Iran at the moment.
Should I make a latte? I think I'm gonna make a latte.
Looks like we lost the stream from Modi.
What is that? Oh, that's weird.
What? Oh, that's a different event. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Guys, Israel and Jordan have said that they are shooting down drones and have shot down some drones outside of Israeli airspace.
Mm-hmm.
Is that true? How many drones are left of the original 100 or so that were fired from Iran? I don't know.
Well, I know if they're going to shoot ballistic missiles like this, those motherfuckers travel fast. So could the drones be coming in with the ballistic missiles are coming in and around the same time? Right? I would do that if I was strategic. Iraq has closed all of its airspace and suspended all air traffic.
Still no sirens in Israel.
All right, I'm going to make a latte. Listen to this guy.
Maybe I should play, as we're waiting for the drone stuff, I don't think it's the worst idea because we haven't played it in a while. Prime Minister Netanyahu gave a speech short speech of why Israel was taking this action, talking about the action and why Israel was taking it. So I think that's a nice summary of what's going on here, at least initially.
All right, we got some new news here. All right. Khan News says that Mossad secretly built capabilities inside Iran aimed at damaging Iran's strategic missile array and air defense systems. Mossad agents smuggled large quantities of specialized weaponry to Iran, deployed them across the country, and launched them to targets with precision and effectiveness. Commando units, Mossad commando units, teams deploy precise guided weapon systems in open areas near Iranian air-to-surface missiles to disrupt Iranian attempts to down Israeli aircraft. Vehicle-based technologies, sophisticated technologies were making sure I wasn't muted. Sophisticated technologies were installed on vehicles. At the start of the surprise attack, the weapons were launched and completely destroyed targeted Iranian defense systems. Mossad established an explosive drone base inside of Iran, which launched attacks on surface-to-air missile launchers and the Aspenhabad base near Tehran. The launchers are considered a strategic and civilian threat to Israel. Where are these fucking bombs?
Use a nuclear weapon in a very short time. It could be a year, it could be within a few months, less than a year. This is a clear and present danger to Israel's very survival. 80 years ago, the Jewish people were the victims of a Holocaust perpetrated by the Nazi regime. Today, the Jewish state refuses to be a victim of a nuclear Holocaust perpetrated by the Iranian regime. Now, as Prime Minister, I've made it clear time and again, Israel will never allow those who call for our annihilation to develop the means to achieve that goal. Tonight, Israel backs those words with action. We struck at the heart of Iran's nuclear enrichment program. We struck at the heart of Iran's nuclear weaponization program. We targeted Iran's main enrichment facility in Natanz. We targeted Iran's leading nuclear scientists working on the Iranian bomb. We also struck at the heart of Iran's ballistic missile program. Last year, Iran fired 300 ballistic missiles at Israel. Each of these missiles carries a ton of explosives and threatens the lives of hundreds of people. Soon, those missiles could carry a nuclear payload, threatening the lives not of hundreds, but of millions. Iran is gearing up to produce 10,000 of those ballistic missiles within 3 years. Now just imagine 10,000 tons of TNT landing on a country the size of New Jersey. This is an intolerable threat. It too must be stopped. Iran is now working on what it calls the new plan to destroy Israel. You see, the old plan failed. Iran and its proxies tried to encircle Israel with a ring of fire and to attack us with the horrible attack of October 7th. But the people of Israel, the soldiers of Israel, rose like lions to defend our country. We crushed Hamas, we devastated Hezbollah, we hit Iranian proxies in Syria and Yemen. And when Iran directly attacked us twice last year, we struck back inside Iran itself. Yet in defending ourselves, we also defend others. We defend our Arab neighbors. They too have suffered from Iran's campaign of chaos and carnage. Our actions against Iran's proxy Hezbollah led to the establishment of a new government in Lebanon and the collapse of Assad's murderous regime in Syria. The peoples of those two countries now have a chance for a different future, a better future. So too do the brave people of Iran, and I have a message for them. Our fight is not with you. Our fight is with the brutal dictatorship that has oppressed you for 46 years. I believe that the day of your liberation is near. And when that happens, the great friendship between our two ancient peoples will flourish once again. I want to assure the civilized world, we will not let the world's most dangerous regime get the world's most dangerous weapons. And Iran plans to give those weapons, nuclear weapons, to its terrorist proxies. That would make the nightmare of nuclear terrorism all too real. The increasing range of Iran's ballistic missiles would bring that nuclear nightmare to the cities of Europe and eventually to America. Remember, Iran calls Israel the small Satan. It calls America the great Satan. And this is why for decades, it's led millions in the chants of death to Israel and death to America. Today, Israel is responding to those genocidal calls with action and with a call of our own. Long live Israel and long live America. Our action will help make the world a much safer place. I want to thank President Trump for his leadership in confronting Iran's nuclear weapons program. He has made clear time and again that Iran cannot have a nuclear enrichment program. Today, it is clear that Iran is just buying for time. It refuses to agree to this basic requirement of peaceful nations. That is why we have no choice but to act, and act now. The hardest decision any leader has to make is to thwart a danger before it is fully materialized. Nearly a century ago, facing the Nazis, a generation of leaders failed to act in time. They were paralyzed by the horrors of World War I. They were determined to avoid war at all costs, and they got the worst war ever. They adopted a policy of appeasement. They closed their eyes and ears to all the warning signs. That failure to act resulted in World War II, the deadliest war in history. It claimed the lives of 60 million including 6 million Jews, a third of my people. After that war, the Jewish people and the Jewish state vowed, never again. Well, never again is now. Today, Israel has shown that we have learned the lessons of history. When enemies vow to destroy you, believe them. When enemies build weapons of mass death, stop them. As the Bible teaches us, when someone comes to kill you, rise and act first. This is exactly what Israel has done today. We have risen like lions to defend ourselves. Over 3,000 years ago, Moses gave the people of Israel a message that has steeled their resolve ever since. Be strong and courageous, he said. Today, our strong and courageous soldiers and people stand together to defend ourselves against those who seek our destruction. And by defending ourselves, we defend many others, and we roll back a murderous tyranny. Generations from now, history will record that our generation stood its ground, acted in time, and secured our common future. May God bless Israel. May God bless the forces of civilization everywhere. Thank you.
So there you get to have Prime Minister Netanyahu's explanation for what is going on in this military campaign against Iran, against Iran's nuclear program by Israel, which Israel has begun overnight.
All right, we got a video
And
of the aftermath of attacking one of the scientists. Yeesh.
از اینجا استفاده کنید.
so we're waiting to see if any drones make it there.
So Germany, Emirates, Qatar, Syria, and I think one of them, they've all canceled flights in the region. This is becoming boring.
Thanks so much to John Lopez.
Iran is raising the red flag of revenge. They're one of the most holiest. I don't know if that's new or not. You think that's new?
I'm going to put that one up again. Get 4 streams up. Hey, Charles Goki, that's so nice of you. Charles Goki, thank you, Charles. I appreciate it. Also,
Right,
switch the channel, thank
boring.
you. And Susan Coots. Thank you,
What
Susan.
war is this?
Will the U.S. get involved, says Dill? Well, I don't know if Iran's going to attack the U.S. I don't know that Trump's going to go out of his way to get involved. The Marco Rubio already said the U.S. wasn't working with Israel. That's what he said. But if some kind of U.S. interest gets attacked, that certainly could bring them in, or shipping gets attacked or something, something related enough to the U.S. The U.S. will get involved if it feels if the benefits outweigh the costs. Thank you, Shregi Stern, as well. Shregi Stern, thank you. What was I going to do? Oh, I was going to put on the. I was going to put on that other stream from Modine.
Oh shit!
What in the world? Why don't I see it?
DXY. Nice.
All right, I got the stream from Modine. There it is, Modine, Israel. We got to see what happens with the drones. Are the drones going to reach Israel, guys? I have no idea. Manny Fabian echoes other reports, which I think these reports are coming from some Israeli military officials probably talking to everybody. But Manny Fabian with Times of Israel says, the Mossad spy agency of Israel built a secret explosive drone base in Iran for this morning's operation, an Israeli security source reveals. They built a secret explosive drone base in Iran. The drones were used to strike ballistic missile launchers at a base near Tehran, preventing Iran from firing projectiles at Israel as this morning's strikes began. That's really interesting. Manny Fabian says the Mossad spy agency built a secret drone base in Iran, for this morning's operation. An Israeli security source reveals. The drones were used to strike ballistic missile launchers at a base near Tehran, preventing Iran from firing projectiles at Israel as this morning's strikes began. Is that true? I don't know. But that could be a reason that Iran hasn't responded yet. Additionally, a Mossad commando team deployed guided weapons systems to central Iran, close to Iranian air defense sites. The weapons struck the air defense sites, preventing them from targeting Israeli fighter jets.
Motherfucker.
Isaiah says, was Ukraine giving Israel pointers? Mimo Man thinks Iran is outclassed by Israel in this war.
Saying here that Mossad assets are Iranian spies, and to add, Azerbaijan had a major role in this. FYI speculation.
Continuing our live coverage here. It's 3:33 a.m. Hey, thanks, Brian Beelman. I appreciate it. Thank you, Brian. Man, it has been so much news lately. And this is just huge news. What's going to happen going forward in Iran, in Israel, in the region as a result of this, I do not know. This is huge, huge news. I just need 1 minute. I need 1 minute, guys. Steve will be back in 1 minute. Give me 1 minute. I'm coming right back.
Oh, fuck. All right, damn your bombs and